It's Black History Month.
Hello, my name's Odessa Esco. Happy Black History Month Part 2. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the idea of AAVE, African American Vernacular. I don't even know the last letter, what it stands for, because when this first started being used, and this is why I called it an idea, it's not an actual real thing, to me at least. AAVE is the idea that Black people in the Americas have a different language, or we speak something other than English. It's a part of English, but it's its own separate thing, which is true and not true at the same time. Just as many English secondary language speakers, they don't speak fluent, perfect English. That's not a thing either. Everybody has their own accents and dialects and levels and types of English they speak within the native English community. And to single out Black ways and mannerisms and cultural aspects that we put into the way we communicate was a little strange to me, and it just made me feel like AAVE is just another word for slang. Everybody uses slang. Everybody has slang from different parts and areas of the world that they use that has become part of their language of their communities. It's nothing separate or special. It's just how they talk out there. Similarly with Black people, we have our own culture. It's different in different places. Canadian AAVE, or talking Black in Canadian, it will be different than in America. Similarities, of course, but in general, there's a way Black people communicate, and I've seen it in all the places I've visited. Whether or not they identify as a Black person themselves, usually people with a little melanin, little afro hair, a little darker skin, they have a little bit of flair that is similar to other people who look like them around the world, whether they know it or not. White people so often are the standard that everything else has to be othered. AAVE to me was another way to other Black people in a polite, politically correct way. Instead of realizing that a lot of times the history of learning English in minorities and Black and brown communities was a struggle. Whether it's coming from slavery, you don't know your own home native tongue anymore. If you're in Canada and you went to a residential school and they forbid you to speak your home language, you are forced into English. You brought with you your culture and your personality and your identity. And that's really what AAVE is. It's the resilience of people's culture and people's way of life that they've been able to maintain even when forced into a new language. Now, over time, there are lots of natural descendants of native English speakers within the Black community. But way upon ago, not everybody was speaking English as it's taught to us. There are native Black people in the Americas, which is a common misconception that all Black people were brought from slavery. The numbers just don't support that theory at all. How we are taught English in schools today, how I'm told to teach people in English classes, is modeled off of European Caucasian English. So the idea of AAVE, it's just slang. It's not a special thing. It's not like you're gonna see a bunch of Black people and not know what they're talking about because they're speaking a different language. You don't know what they're talking about because you don't understand the context of their word choices, the cultural context of why we say, what a do, shawty. Just different ways in how we say things has become so popularized, made it feel like it's something different, but it's not. And to me, it's another way to other Black people. Instead of just praising us for making the English language cool and fun to speak, you don't have to say it's another separate thing. You can just uplift us and be like, I love the way you speak that English. I love the way you talk. I love the way you communicate. Not, oh, is that AAVE? That's cool. That is unnecessary. And I think it diminishes people who don't speak like me. We're all on equal pars of the English speaking language. Whether we're natives, whether we're Black, whether we're speaking in slang, or whether we're speaking in stereotypical textbook English ways. All English is valid, and even if you're thinking it's a positive way to recognize how someone communicates, I prefer not to have my language called something other than the language I'm speaking. If I'm speaking English, I'm speaking English. Ain't no AAVE up in here, please. Happy Black History Month! Whether you're a secondary learner or you're a native, culture is for everybody, and the more people involved in the conversation, the more understanding and appreciation we can have for each other. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content about English learning. See you in my next video. Stay cute!